think we are live. Let me know if you're able to see the video stream, and we'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. Zoom back out here just a bit. Maybe we're not live. Excuse me. Maybe we're not live. We are. Are you guys able to see the stream? Let me know if you are. And we'll go ahead and get started. Awesome. Thanks, Sergi, man. Appreciate it. Okay. So we are going to continue looking at these glasses, and started noticing that I need a little more distance on this other side, and the arc needs to go up just a little higher. I appreciate that, Sergi, man, very, very much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I want to remove this inner line right here just a little bit. Okay. I can use a very delicate approach with this plastic eraser to get some of that off there, and it works quite well. Remember that outline that we were putting on there is an erasable pencil, because that's not our permanent line. That's just, you know, a getting started point, trying to visualize it and see it. That's all. So we need to move that boundary mark a little bit to the left. Okay. And then over here, it arcs up just a little bit more than what I had currently. All right, and then same way down here. Was a little conservative in where I put that mark. I think that's just me eyeballing it after we were done, and started thinking more about it, and it was all I could do to keep my hands off of it and not not correct it until we met again here today. That's hilarious. Sergi Man's over there on YouTube Live. He says his pencils have run under the bed. What's happening is way too scary. That cracks me up. Okay, let's go down a little bit more over here. Right in there. Hey, Linda. How are you? Thanks for joining over there on YouTube. Good to see you out here as well. Okay, and get rid of all that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now I'll zoom in just a little bit more here. Might help. Okay. Now one thing that can be deceiving is when you're looking at the reference, since you're able to see this part right here, looking at that shadow, that cast shadow created by the glasses right there, might start to make me think that, you know, I'm closer to that edge than I need to be, and the edge actually is over here. So I need to remember this is a cast shadow, and then the edge of the face is way back there. So that's just something I need to make sure I remember. So this is one of those areas where the term, you know, sneaking up on it comes to mind, where, you know, you're taking your time. It's the only way to do it, really, for me at least. So take your time and don't get in a hurry at all. Look at shadow shapes, where light is and where shadows are. All of those things matter. I always have to remember and remind myself that my drawing is smaller in scale than the reference also. That's something that I want to make sure that I keep in mind. This comes down a little farther, down here. Okay, then on this other side, there is a little bit of, there's this gradual, little bit of slope, little gradual slope upward. So I want to make sure I grab that and I get that portrayed. So we are at the top. I need to make sure that I can see this a little bit better. Okay. When it starts to turn, let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see this with me. Just my camera. You can see me better, I guess. If I zoom out, you'll be able to see what I'm looking at here on that other side. There we go. Okay. Because this area right here, this particular shadow shape right in here helps me a little bit with the alignment. So I want to pay attention to that. This area down here, that I need to take that away. I don't want that to become distracting to me. Okay. problem with this eraser is sometimes it's hard to know exactly where that corner, that tip is located and is applied to your drawing surface. Alright, let's take a look. So we got add a little bit up here so that I have some context here. All right. If I look at, well, I'm outside of the bounds here. There we go. Maybe you can see that, hopefully. If I look at this line right here that's created from the frame of the glasses, then, I need to be able to tell, and you can eyeball it, but you also want to make sure that you're pretty accurate about it. The slope of that angle needs to be something that is considered. This little darker area representing a bit of a shadow right there underneath the frame is that's not where the earpiece is going. That's underneath where the earpiece is. So I just have to make sure I remember that. Okay. Over here. This is where there needs to be a lot of observation. And, while you may feel like, at least I feel like that my observation skills and ability to identify angles are somewhat better than some. At the same time, it can be something that is challenging when you also have a relationship with all the other features. And so you have to be, willing to think about everything as being fluid. And so some of the alignment could be slightly off. And I'm talking about feature-wise, of the face. And if that's the case, then you don't want, the glasses then to be in one spot relative to the features, and then not think about the overall placement of the glasses, because we need to be at least a little bit flexible in where we put the glasses on the face, because they may not line up exactly the way that we see them lined up in the reference photo. I'm going to sharpen this pencil. Okay. On Saturday's live stream, I did something and I accidentally caused my mixer to fall from its location, and I'm hoping that I didn't mess up any of my audio settings there. I think they're all okay, but okay. I want to look at that. Now, this line isn't going to matter a whole lot at the moment. It's a little thicker in that certain spot, but it just makes me feel better if I minimize it just a little bit. That way I can visualize it easier if I do. So this curve is tapered just a little bit more. There we go. It's very thin over here. All right. Okay, I do want to look at that now and think about the alignment there. And so this area right up here should represent, should represent the pinnacle, the highest spot right there, and then come back down over there. I think we're pretty close there, although this frame is quite thin right up here, as it is also down here. So we're actually seeing part of the top of the glasses frame way back there, and all the way across the top we're seeing a little bit of the top of the frame. Okay. Now, let's see. Push that back right there. Okay. All right. Still want that glasses frame to be extended out about that far, but it helps to look closer at the inside than the outside, at least initially when you're putting all this together. you know, one of the things that could be, it can always be affecting a difference between your my reference and the drawing is the tilt of the head. And the tilt of the head, you know, I can make my tilt not quite the same as a reference, but the only thing is, if I do that, and it's fine to do that, but if I do that, then I have to think about that with relationship to these hard angles in here on the glasses. So that's something I do want to think about and remember, that could be different. Okay, so that needs to be scooted over just a little bit. It's a wider interval right here. Okay, and some of this, we're going to have some of those beautiful, beautiful shadows right in there, where we've got some pinks and purples that will be, you know, we'll be able to show right in here. That'll be a lot of fun to be able to do that. Okay, I nearly want to include, I think I will, a little bit of the shadow shape right in here. Actually, it's sloped over like this, and comes down here. And I think that's going to help with the alignment of the frame. And this, okay, yeah, so that will help quite a bit. All right. That shape's right here, and then this is tapered. Actually, it's a pretty hard angle right in there. It just slants over pretty directly over to that one side. And then back down again. And this, you know, we'll have to have a lot more more red over there than what we currently have. Okay. And a little bit of a pinnacle right in there. Not quite that dark though. Okay. Now that we have that in there, then I can start to turn this angle right there. Okay. This is all darker. That value gets just a little bit darker right in there, due to it being in shadow just a little bit. And this area is back, coming back this way. Just back down. Okay. if you are watching and you're thinking, wow, why didn't he just leave the glasses out? I could have done that. That is an option that you can do. But the other thing is this, and if it's too daunting just to put glasses in, then what you'll want to do, especially if it's a commission, what you'll want to do is discuss that ahead of time and decide on if the glasses are going to be necessary, and sometimes they are. And especially on a child, a lot of times they are. And so if that's the case, then if that is the case, you'll want to go ahead and be thinking about them the whole time. But often on adults, what I would normally do if I'm doing a commission especially is I'll ask that they remove their glasses if at all possible. And that, that does help quite a bit. Okay, for some reason that I still want more distance over here on this side, because that's a smaller opening. It appears to be. So let me just measure it with the pencil here. Yeah, it is. Okay. So your mind can play tricks on you. Your eyes can play tricks, because on that other side of the glasses, which is a harder and more difficult area to measure or to gauge by sight, it appears that there is more room over there. It appears there's more of an interval between the side plane of this edge where the ear is and the glasses frame. But in reality, when I just measured it, there's not. So eyeballing it very quickly, you can tell that those two are not very equal. I feel like this one is pretty equal, even though some of that slope may need to change just a little bit, especially this inner area here. Okay, but by and large that's pretty equal. So somewhere out here is where I want the inner portion of the frame. Okay. And this slopes up. If anybody's over on Facebook watching live, let me know. For some reason, I don't see anything in the feed there. So maybe it's not broadcasting over there. I keep having, because we're doing the Portrait Prep Drawing Challenge live on YouTube, I keep having to flip my settings back and forth over there on YouTube for a private stream, and I think it messes with my settings over in Restream for the for this particular stream as well. So okay, let's have a look at that now. That's better. That is better. Okay. So I can come in here. I need to be able to see this corner. I want to get rid of that line right there. And again, I can refine this the more that I draw on that outer edge and this inner portion of the frame as well. I can keep refining it as I see things. And that's what I want to do. I want to look for all of the differences. But you've got to start somewhere. You've got to get something down. Just staring at nothing, not having anything down is not going to help you to see it better. Okay. It still does need to come down just a little bit more. And this does need to be raised up just a little bit up here. And then I think we're meeting right there. That angle's more out like that. There we go. So for some reason we may not be streaming to Facebook, I guess. And that's okay. And this comes down like that. Okay. So now at least we've got a starting point. And we can start to refine this and look at it a little more critically again. Thinking about, some of these intervals between the features. But then the other job that you have at this point is I have to look at the relationship of the overall frame on one side to the other. Take a look again, see what we're looking like, and all right. Take off those hard angles over here. In the beginning when you're trying to work through something, and I mean, it doesn't matter what it is even. It could be even something that is round, parts of the face even that are rounded. It's a good strategy to use some curved, sketchy lines, short, sketchy, curved lines, to figure out where something is located before committing yourself in a particular area. Okay. Alright, and then up here, this curves in just a little bit. And I just want to fill in a little bit of this, make it a little more solid right in there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is one that I will have to just take my time in. And, it's just not something that you can rush. Taking your time, and because we're doing this as a live stream, then we, it's taking forever because due to that. Where if I was working on this, if I had a deadline that I was working towards, then I could spend hours on it and just dedicate more time to it. But I don't have to worry about that, so that's a good thing in some ways. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's enough progress for this morning. This is one of those things that, if I was working on it all day, I would work on it all day, and I would take 2 to 5, sometimes 10-minute breaks, and work in intervals like that. And I would get up and walk and do something else to refresh my mind and my perspective when I come back to it. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you next week with this. If you're part of the Portrait Prep Drawing course, and I know there's a lot of face value students in there as well, and there's also those of you who have never drawn a face before, and so I'm excited about that, and we're going to be continuing that challenge at 5 p.m. tonight. So until then, I will talk to you then, and stay sharp. Bye-bye.